Hare Krishna. Welcome to our weekly Sunday program. Um, sorry. Welcome to our weekly Sunday program. And as you all know, we will be continuing to have virtual programs every Sunday. And earlier this month, we celebrated the Rath Yatra, the Festival of India. We couldn't have our traditional parade and celebration at the Central Island due to the current pandemic situation around the world. But we did have seminars, cooking shows, yoga classes, and we are uh, looking forward to continuing with these virtual programs. Our temple at this point of time continues to remain closed, but as you can see, this is our darshan of our wonderful deity, spiritual Gopinath. So without further ado, we would like to get started with the program for today. As you all know, we will be having Rohini Priya Prabhu, who will be facilitating today's talk. So let me just bring him on screen. Priya Prabhu, welcome.
Hi, Krishna.
So before we get started, we'll just briefly introduce you for both. That's okay. And
Sure.
we'll have some question answers towards the end of the session as well. So for those of you who are joining us on our virtual program, as you can see, we have Rohini Priya Prabhu with us. Rohini Priya Prabhu is based out in Mumbai, India. He serves there as a temple manager for one of the Hare Krishna centers. He's got a background in doctor of medicine, and he currently connects a lot with people, especially with students in the medical and engineering background. He's a full-time monk, guide, and a mentor, and he's been practicing this tradition of Bhakti Yoga for over 25 years now. He extensively travels around the USA, Canada, Singapore, Malaysia, and we haven't had Rohini Priya Prabhu in Toronto in quite some time now, but he is a regular visitor. But we're really extremely grateful to you, Prabhu, for taking time out and being with us virtually in Toronto. So as you all know, today's topic is going to be values are invaluable. We encourage we encourage all the viewers to send in your questions or comments in the Facebook or the YouTube chat, and we will address them towards the end. So without further ado, we would like to welcome Rohini Priya Prabhu. Welcome to our program, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so very much, Hare Krishna. I'm extremely delighted to be doing this service for a wonderful congregation at ISKCON Toronto. I hope my voice is audible. We couldn't do any checks before before we went live. So please let me know if there are some glitches. And thank you very much, Anjaniya Tirtha Prabhu, for your kind words of introduction. And I really feel very much humbled. I'm feeling very humble that I'm able to serve the congregation, the devotee at the Radha Kshirchor Gopinath temple. I hope that is right. At the ISKCON Toronto temple. I was supposed to give a class sometime back, but due to unforeseen circumstances, that did not happen, and the topic for that class was values are invaluable. Anjaneya Tirtha Prabhu sent me a message if I could speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam, because that is going to be the focus for some time to come. The importance of Srimad Bhagavatam and the need for people to receive the Srimad Bhagavatam. So kindly forgive me if I change my presentation a bit. I would like to speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam today. And the goal being that we all feel inspired by having this great fortune of receiving the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in the English language. This great epic has been wonderfully translated and with in-depth understanding of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition by our own His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. So I encourage all of you um, to immerse yourself in the knowledge of the Bhagavatam and also help other people on this planet receive the Srimad Bhagavatam in their lives and find the satisfaction, inner satisfaction by going through the knowledge that is presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is an ancient book, it's an ancient treatise on the absolute truth, on the existence of the Supreme Lord, the nature and qualities of the Supreme Lord, and the nature of the material world that we are in, where we are, what are our options, what could be certain expectations and reality checks in life, what are certain expected goals that we as humans should be having and could be achieving, and ultimately how to be eternally happy. All of this is wonderfully revealed and extensively covered in this beautiful book from the Eastern philosophy from the East called the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is one of the great Puranas. The Puranas are exponential works on the ancient Vedic knowledge, the wisdom of the Vedic texts that are the Puranas or the Purans. And Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the unblemished Puran, the unblemished presentation of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So having said that, and since we have an hour of presentation, I will try and delve directly into my presentation right now. I was hoping to do some kirtan, but time is short, so kindly forgive me. I will just chant some prayers of invocation, and then we will discuss a little bit about the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Okay. A few years ago, I heard a story from one of the cities on the east coast of America. Such stories are very famous in the ISKCON world as book distribution stories or book distribution nectar. I'm sure that even at the ISKCON Toronto temple and its congregation, we may have so many stories, inspiring stories. So today, right now, there is this one story that I would be narrating. So in America, in the United States of America, and I think North America too, there is a program wherein large quantities of spiritual books, especially the Bhagavad Gita, is distributed to the motels. Now, most of the motels, or let us say, a large number of the motels in America are owned by the Indian Gujarati community. So that makes it a little easier, but not always. So there was this motel that was approached, and the manager of the motel, who was a certain Mr. Patel, had his own copy of the Bhagavad Gita. He had a copy of the Bhagavad Gita on the front desk, but he wasn't interested in having any more copies. He wasn't interested in having a Gita in every room in his motel. The devotees still persisted. This is from a few years ago, so they went to the motel. One lady, a devotee lady, approached the owner of the motel, and within a few moments, she had to come back because the motel owner wasn't interested in having any more books. A couple of days later, the motel owner calls up the devotee and is very animatedly over the phone requesting them to bring in a few more copies of the Bhagavad Gita. So a devotee immediately did a little research, found out how many rooms there would be in the motel. There were about 250 rooms in that motel. So he put 250 books in his car, 250 copies of the Bhagavad Gita in his car, and he went to the motel. And the owner was very happy to have those books. And he was also very excited to tell them how he had this turn of heart. He said that last night, today morning, or yesterday morning, that was when he had given a call. He had given a call late in the afternoon. So yesterday morning, one of the customers who had stayed overnight in the motel had come to the front desk and was asking if he could have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. He wanted his own personal copy. And he said that this book had saved his life. So there are these isolated stories from all over the world that indeed the Bhagavad Gita has saved someone's life. Anyways, so this gentleman had decided to end his life. So he had come to this motel. And he was really in a very, he was in a bad mood. Well, motels have to do business, so they let him have a room. And on the front desk, he picked up what he thought was a magazine, which was actually the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So he goes into the room and he scans the room. He has come totally prepared. He has brought a rope with himself, with him. And there was a fan on the ceiling, so everything, and there was a chair. So before he decided to go with the act, he thought that let me just have one last read. So he opened up the magazine, which was actually the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And the knowledge fascinated him. And towards the end, he couldn't sleep the entire night, and in the morning, he approached the front. Towards the end of the night, he fell asleep tired. He woke up in a couple of hours, and then in the morning, he approached the front desk asking for if he could have his own personal copy of this book. He said, and he told them that, he told them about his plan and how the person in the book had spoken so convincingly to his student and disciple, who was also very much troubled in life. And all that he had spoken to his student made sense to this gentleman. In fact, what he was referring to was Krishna giving knowledge to his student Arjun. So the motel keeper, or the motel owner, he wanted to have a Bhagavad Gita in every room. He felt that it saved him from having such a big incident on his campus, on his property. So somehow or the other, someone had put in a Bhagavad Gita, and there are so many incidences like this. These are isolated incidences, but they are quite a few in number. which inspires the devotees to try and place these books into the hands of each and every person on this planet again and again and again. So I wanted to start off on a slightly serious note, which could be a little inspiring too. And I'm sure many of us may have heard so many more inspiring stories about how a book has changed a person's life, especially the books from our tradition, the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Ishopanishad, the higher taste, and so on and so forth. So we indeed are very grateful to all the devotees, to all our well-wishers who have faith in this Vedic literatures, they have faith in the Bhagavad Gita, they have faith in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And they are inspired to also distribute these wonderful books to their friends, well-wishers, and to complete strangers too. So we are very grateful to all our book distributors, and we uh, we offer our thanks, and also we offer prayer that they remain inspired and protected by Krishna to go on doing this uh, wonderful act of charity, distributing this knowledge, Jnanadan, to the larger population. Sometime back, I was, this is again, some time back, maybe a few months or a couple of years ago, I read something interesting. And this is on the lighter note. Since I cannot see you, therefore I have to say that it is supposed to be a joke. So hopefully it will lighten up the presentation and it will lighten up the mood. So this uh, this joke, it is, as I said, there's some humor in here. There'll be some humor, um, and the point that I'm trying to put across through this humor is that there are so many ways this material world or life in this material world challenges us. There are moments of grace, there are moments of happiness, there are moments of peace and solitude, and there are also all those great moments of being frustrated or being at a loss, dejected, unable to move forward in life, etc. So just to kind of just very succinctly describe the material world. So brother texts his sister, "My dear sister, I've been married for 17 years. Every time my wife and I have a misunderstanding, she demands transport money for her three brothers who stay in the next town to come and beat me up here in Toronto." Yes? So this is how the text goes. "Every time my wife and I have a misunderstanding, she demands transport money for her three brothers who stay in Mississauga to come and beat me up here in Toronto. And after they have beaten me, I must still give them transport money back to Mississauga. This is text. The sister replies, "Dear bro, I sympathize with you. I suggest you and your wife move to Mississauga to save the transportation costs and so that you can get beaten up free of charge." That's a joke. That's how the material world is. This has been described by Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee, very famous in the Puranic lores. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says, "Balasya neha sharanam pitara nasimha nartasya chagadam mudam vati majjato no taptasya tat prativideya hi amjasheshtas tavad vibho tanubhitam twadupekshita." Prahlad Maharaj is saying, "My dear Lord Nrsimhadev, O Supreme Lord, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you, cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and a mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man." Once two men were in the middle of a river in a boat. The boat had a leak at one end. There was a hole, and water was filling in through the hole. The first man tells his friend, "There's water coming in here." The other man takes up a nail and a hammer and starts hammering the nail into the hull of the boat, the bottom of the boat at the other end. So if his friend asks him, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm creating another hole for the water to go out." This is how, or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj would also uh, explain through a story. He would say that two lazy men were caught in a fire. They were surrounded by fire. They were sitting facing each other, and the fire was burning their backs. They're too lazy to move. After some time, one said to the other, "My back is burning." So the other tells him, "Turn around the other way." Or, turn your back the other way. So typically, most of the human population learns to live life having to make compromises. It's like, yeah, money cannot buy happiness, sure, but it makes misery a little less troublesome. That's not what humans are supposed to be achieving in life. As humans, our intelligence behooves us to try and find a permanent solution to these recurrent issues called as problems in life. If we are seeking solutions to problems, we need to find some guidance. We need somebody to show us the path. And that is where these books of knowledge are helpful. Because knowledge throws light on the darker aspects or the those phases of our life where we are confused. Knowledge helps us see better. Today, knowledge is present in the form of books. It is present in the form of digital media. So we may read it with our eyes, however, we are supposed to understand it with our intellect. And then, with our intellect being fortified with this knowledge, we are supposed to find solutions and hopefully permanent solutions to the problems of life. Hopefully, we do that. It does not take one to be like super intelligent to understand that many of our problems arise from unnecessary indulgence of our senses. In fact, most, if not all, of our problems are because of unnecessary engagement of our senses with the sense objects. It is not rocket science, it's what one can see happening practically in our lives. In fact, in India, the land where I come from, typically many people know Hindi. In Hindi, there's a saying, "Papi pet ka sawal hai." All our endeavors are simply to satisfy the stomach, which is never fully satisfied. So, in another place, a very interesting revelation of where the actual problem lies is given. Where is the actual problem? And the information that is given is so simple, it is so relevant that it applies to each and every one. Every single human on this planet can understand that this is true. What is being spoken is very practical and it is crystal clear what we are going to speak right now. And it is not just applicable to humans, it is applicable to every species of life. Every species of life. The only difference is, as humans, we can understand it much better than the other species of life. So, what is this clarity that is being spoken of? One famous saint of ancient India called Kulashekar was a king, a saint and a king. The saint, he revealed his heart, or he gave his realization, which is called as the Mukunda Mala Stotra. And within that he says, अंधस्य मेरत विवेक महाधनस्य चौरे प्रभो बलिभिरिन्द्रिय नाम ध्येये मोहान्धकूपकुहरे विनिपातितस्य देवेश देहि कृपणस्य करावलम्बम्. The Sanskrit verse translated into English goes like this. O Lord, the powerful thieves of my senses have blinded me by stealing my most precious possession, my discrimination, and they have thrown me deep into the pitch dark well of delusion. Please, O Lord of Lords, extend your hand and save this wretched soul. A dentist was approached by a patient. The dentist asks the patient, "Why is one of your teeth broken?" The patient says, "Because the bread my wife made last night was very hard." The doctor looked at him and said, "If it was so hard, why didn't you refuse to eat it?" The patient said, "That's exactly what I did." Well, it's a little dark humor, I guess, so I beg forgiveness. However, the point is, sometimes we may think that the problems lie elsewhere. The cause of one's pain in life is a certain age. However, that may be a superficial understanding. Just as in this case, the dentist thought that his tooth had been broken because of chewing on the hard bread. It isn't true. The dark humor is that somebody wasn't happy that their bread had been refused. There must have been a fist fight. That's the dark humor. So if we are humble enough to accept that yes, either here or here, wherever we consider our mind to be, wherever we consider all our desires to originate from, try and be happy in this world through the agency of the senses, through trying to exploit the sense objects. That is the problem. And all it needs is a little humility to accept that this is the problem. The problem is I'm trying to enjoy through my senses and it isn't really helping me. Is there another way? Am I overlooking something? Am I doing something incorrectly? What could be other alternatives to how I could be happy in life, to find happiness in life? Now, these questions would make one interested in what is offered in these books, the Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We want to know more about them. We want to read and understand and distribute these ancient texts of wisdom. I would like to tell you a story about how Srimad Bhagavatam or well, I've tried to very briefly put forth for the point that the Srimad Bhagavatam is needed in my life. I mean, like individually, each one of us can feel that. The next thing to do would be to try and see if we can make it relevant in someone else's life. To make them feel the need to have the Srimad Bhagavatam in their lives too. Now that is another art. Many times people feel that, especially if they have some religious upbringing, you know, some kind of value education if they have received in their lives, they feel that they already know the essential truth of life, and therefore they need not have these books in their life. Just as it happened with one person who used to come to the temple. So this person was a regular visitor, like every week, every weekend would be there at the temple. Um, was a practicing devotee too. I'm just trying to look up the reference for that. So he was approached. This devotee was approached. This person who used to come to the temple was approached by uh, one young devotee who was trying to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. So he approached him. The person immediately realized that he is trying to give him some books. So with a smile on his face, he said that I already have all the books. And he also kind of mentioned some of the titles, including the Srimad Bhagavatam. So our distributor was a little taken aback. The distributor was silent for a few seconds, and then had an inspiration. So the distributor said, very nice to hear that you have got everything, but there are others who do not. I would request you to donate some Lakshmi for this great cause. If you can donate something, then we can offer these books in charity to other people. The person was inspired to give some donation. This donation was used to further book distribution. Right next to this person was sitting right next to him was his brother, who would also come regularly to the temple. So a book distributor had this fire in the eyes. So the book distributor or had this great inspiration. So the book distributor, he approached um, the brother and he said, sir, please. And before he could say anything, the brother said, well, this is my brother. We are from the same family. So now you have given him, he has all the books. So I also have all the books. The book distributor was again taken aback, was silent for a few seconds. And then he replied, you both are from the same family. However, each one of you has a different spiritual account. Your brother's donation may not get credited into your spiritual account. So if you want more credits in your spiritual account, then please consider offering a donation. So the brother also was inspired to offer a donation. So there are so many ways that one can be inspired to help others receive the Srimad Bhagavatam, the mercy of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Even if one has the Srimad Bhagavatam in our lives, even if one approaches someone else who has the Srimad Bhagavatam, that's still ways that we can contribute and help distribute the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I have just 6 more minutes. Let me tell you another story. This is a story of book distribution on the streets. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes when you distribute books, you don't really have to do anything much. You just set up a table, or you're just standing at the street corner and somebody approaches you and says, "Hey, what do you have there?" And yeah, I was looking for this book. Like this happened somewhere in the United States at one of the universities. A person was very much involved. A young man was sitting outside at the table in the open. There are so many sitting places on the university campus. Was sitting at this table and going through some pages which seem to have been torn out of a book. And right across, right next to that person, like a couple of, let's say, a couple of feet away, was sitting a devotee. And sometimes devotees, they kind of look over to see what the neighbors are doing. So the devotee looked into what this person was reading and was surprised that these were pages from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Like it was the second chapter. They said, "Huh, so you like philosophy?" And the other person goes, "Well, actually, I find this interesting. I found these pages and I find the read very interesting." "Where did you find these pages?" She said, "I was walking down the back lane, and there, somebody had these pages were thrown. They were lying around a trash can. Somebody had kind of dumped these pages into the trash can. Some of that had fallen out of the can, not into the can, and it was just lying there on the ground, strewn on the ground. So he picked them up. He wanted to kind of pick them up maybe and throw it into the trash can. So just out of curiosity, looked at it and found, oh, this looks interesting. The Devanagari script looks interesting. Like, what is this?" And that is how he had found those pages, just a few pages. And he was like, "It seems that there is much more to this. I wish I had the entire book." And the devotee says, "Yeah, sure. I can help you. I can give you an entire book tomorrow itself." So the strange ways that this knowledge finds its way into people's lives. The exciting ways that this knowledge finds itself into people's lives. This knowledge just kind of walks into people's lives. Anyways, sometimes it just happens that people kind of just pick up a book and you just happen to be there. You realize that all you did was just be there with the books, and they come over to you and they take the book. Sometimes you may have to make an effort. You may have to approach people. Anyways, in this particular story, my final story, there was this book table set up, and the young man walks up to the table and says, "What would you recommend?" Now, typically at the universities, Some of the books that are recommended are The Higher Taste, or uh, if there's a conversation, then they may offer The Science of Self-Realization, or some other titles. So these are the books. A couple of books were given to him, and the young man was very generous. So the young man gave $100 donation. The man said that I'm really very confused in life. I need answers in life. That is how the man had approached the table, that I need answers in life. So when the young man offered this donation, then a book distributor felt that since he's so generous, why not ask him for something more? Or why not offer him some other books? So a book distributor asks him, uh, just how confused are you? And the young man says, very confused. I really need answers in life. And then a book distributor says, then in that case, I would recommend you a very special set of books. And he gives him the entire Srimad Bhagavatam set on campus. And the young man, he gives some more donation and is very, very happy to receive all of these books. So it is great fortune to be able to understand the knowledge that is offered in the Vedic texts, these Vedic scriptures, the Vedic literature, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is one of our biggest fortunes to be able to distribute this knowledge either through um, conversations, through talks, through presentations, and especially through distributing these books. You see, the presentations may happen once in a person's life, but the books stay with the person forever. So, if we can help others receive an entire set of Srimad Bhagavatam or some other Vedic texts, that would be a great gift. In the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam explained. आदिमध्यावसानेषु वैराग्याख्यानसंयुतम् हरिलीलाकथाव्रातावृतानन्देत सर्ववेदान्तसारं यद्ब्रह्मात्मैकत्वलक्षणम् वस्त्वद्वितीयं तन्निष्ठां कैवल्यैकप्रयोजनम्. The translation is, from the beginning to the end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of the Lord's pastimes, which gives bliss to the devotees, endowed with a sense of renunciation. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic philosophy because its subject matter is one Brahman, a substance without duality. The main goal of the work is to serve the Supreme Personality of God. So it's 6 o'clock. I think my time is up. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude for having this opportunity. And thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let us all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving us your time for today. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Hope we can have you again sometime in the near future. Hope you're staying safe wherever you are. And a lot of our viewers are appreciative, and some of them are happy to see you back after a while.
Thank
So
you so
thanks
very
to
much.
yes, thanks to all the viewers. I don't see any questions, Prabhu. So if any viewers, if you still have, if you like to ask anything to Prabhu, feel free to put it in the comment section, and we'll be happy to address them. But before that, we just want to quickly go over a couple of announcements. We will be continuing to do our weekly programs over virtual media. We will keep you all posted about the temple reopening. But we have a very special update, which is that next week, it's the 3rd of August, it's the Balram Jayanti, appearance day of Lord Balram. But on the Saturday, which is August 1st, we will be having His Holiness Jai Patak Maharaj, who will be speaking for the Toronto congregation and, of course, everyone, since it's on a virtual platform. So it'll be in the morning of the next week, August 1st. From the timings will be yet to be confirmed, but it'll be in the morning. Follow the page on our Facebook to get more details and updates about it. So as you know, Rohini Priya Prabhu was speaking about um, the Bhagavad Gita, the wonderful books from our scripture. It is the month of Bhadra Purnima. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to discuss about the various books that we have. So Bhadra Purnima is the auspicious time to gift your friends, colleagues, or any other relatives with the Srimad Bhagavatam set. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a wonderful book with lots of stories, a lot of information, knowledge. I won't be able to even do justice just explaining it, but it's one of the most revered books amongst all the bhakti practitioners. So our temple in Toronto, we do have the Bhagavatam sets in various languages: English, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, and Bengali, as well as few other languages from India. So if any of you would be interested, feel free to let us know in the comments. So there's also a website, which is badracampaign.com. So feel free to visit it and you can find more information. So once again, before we conclude, we would like to thank Rohini Priya Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for being here with us.
Thank you very much. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we also have live darshan of our deities. So we'll change the screen to showing darshan of our deities, and you can all view our deity darshan on our website as well. So we have installed a camera recently, which helps to show darshan 24/7. So you can visit the link in our temple website. But we're just going to share it here for now, and you will be able to get the darshan. So Hare Krishna, and thank you. We will see you again next week. Hare